he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
We back, baby. What up?
Slow clap for the merry man.
You reminded me. I took my ring off. Put it back on.
Oh, Lord. Shout out to Terry who just enjoyed his 29th birthday.
Still married.
Still married. We're locking down, homie. Let's get right into it, bro. John Wall from our native Raleigh.
Yeah.
I'm off from robbing liquor stores and following up flights of steps. We're traded to the Houston Rockets for none other than Russell Westbrook, a trade that we previewed before it happened on this podcast 2 weeks ago. So now that this conjecture has been made reality, Terry, what are your thoughts?
Yo, you know what, man? It's fucking wild that they even did this in the first place. I did not think that this was going to happen. If at first I would think maybe James Harden got traded first. But the Russell Westbrook talk just started to come along, kind of like a train, and you're just like, they're gonna trade Russell Westbrook? That's so weird because they loved each other. That's why they got on the same team, him and James. But I don't know, man. I guess this swap is real weird to me. I say Washington won this easy. There's no doubts about it. John Wall hasn't played basketball in 700 days. You know what I'm saying?
So I concur with you. So let's start with Washington, right?
Yeah.
What this trade means for them and and for the Wizards. So you replace a guy who hasn't played basketball in 2.5 years, who's coming off an Achilles injury, whose whole game was predicated on explosiveness and athleticism.
Yep. And
you replace him with a dude who was an All-NBA guard last year.
Yeah.
And
That's
all
easy.
it cost you was a fucking pick and swap shitty contracts.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer win for Washington. And this immediately puts them with the Hawks and the Pacers and whoever else. One of these teams is going to have chemistry problems and it's going to fall in the top four. But it's a mix now from a team that, before they made that trade, I was like, y'all have – maybe you can make a play-in game and get lucky.
Yeah.
Now it's taking their team to a whole nother level of expectations.
So they went from an 8 seed to a 6 seed.
No, I think they went from a 10 seed to a possible 7, 8.
Oh, so you straight disrespect.
Oh, dude, you think the question remains, who's going to play defense on the Washington Wizards?
Oh.
Up and down their roster. And Gary Payton, the third, barely plays at all. Troy Brown Jr., not going to play that much that Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal are both going to be on the court together. So, who's going to defend? Bertans? I don't think so. Thomas Bryant, not the greatest rim protector.
There's an easy answer to who's going to play defense on the Washington Wizards.
Rui Hachimura.
No, he ain't playing no defense either.
But he's the next Kawhi, remember?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be no one. Whoever said he's the next Kawhi? I've never heard of it.
That's what Jalen Rose did on his pre-draft comp. They're like, he reminds me of a young Kawhi Leonard.
Get out of here, son. There's no way. Not even the same.
Reminds me of a yellow Adam Morrison.
He reminds me of a black Japanese man. Oh, wait. He is a black Japanese man.
He reminds me of somebody tried to pull Mr. Miyagi and stretch him out like taffy.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, Washington, it's interesting, but the more I really want to see John Wall play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
No. Hold on. Before we even get to Houston, let's finish on the Wizards, who have been a moribund franchise. Their greatest moment in the last 40 years was John Wall standing on the scorer's table after he hit the shot in Game 6, and then they lost the series in Game 7.
Yep. And was that the second round or the first round?
That was the second round.
Okay.
And that was against Boston. But still, they haven't gone past the set. Like, they've only won one round ever. They've never won 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And so now you're going from that to a dude who's been to the finals, has been an MVP. It's a big jump in talent, and I'm interested to see specifically how that Russell Westbrook, Thomas Bryant dynamic goes, because Thomas Bryant is a good stretch big, even though he doesn't have like a lot of the name recognition, but he's like one of the better pick and pop fives in the league, and that's exactly what the fuck you need if you have Russell Westbrook running the show. You can't have a tree down there in the paint, like clogging up the lane, taking all this space up. So I think offensively, it's going to be fireworks, man.
Oh, yeah, they're going to score easy, like 110, 115. Like, they're going to light it up. I mean, but that's what we were saying before, though. Like, can they play defense? Can they hold on? I mean, we'll see. Like, Bradley Beal's not interested in playing defense. Russell Westbrook is 31, and he stopped playing really good defense a long time ago.
He never played really good defense. He just gave really high-level effort and was really athletic. So it made him look like he was good at defense. Yeah, but he's like, if you ever watched Russell Westbrook have to chase a shooter around screens, it's like, oh, God.
Yo, you know what? Like, Russell Westbrook playing defense kind of looks like, you know, when, like, in the NFL Combine, they do, like, the shuffle cone drill.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what he looks like. He's just running around, hustling really hard. And you're just like, you're not doing anything.
They're like, left, right, up. Yeah. Why is Russell Westbrook doing up downs in the third quarter?
Nah, really. Only time I ever saw him play like really good defense was in FIBA, you know, the international ball. That was the only time he played great defense. But they let you
because everyone who's not from America doesn't have handles. Like, I don't believe if you didn't grow up in the USA that like you should be able to just get plucked by any of the people we have.
I told you, don't fake.
I know there's bullshit, but like a part of me really believes that.
I see, like, they don't have great handles. They just like they're real crafty. You know what I'm saying? They do shit that you don't normally like see, and you're just like, all right, wait, how do I defend this? Oh, you just do that all game. All right, bet I got it. That's how I feel about Europe and South America.
Like, oh, you keep doing the Steve Smith. All right, we picked up on this one.
They all dribble with their back to the basket, just going like fucking Gary Payton and like who else did that shit? Rod Strickland. They dribble like
fucking Mark Jackson's the classic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mark Jackson's the classic. I tell you what, John Wall might want to take a page out of Mark Jackson's book next season. If his Achilles is going to still be shot, he might want to look into some of this backing down point guard stuff.
But here's the real question. Here's the real question. Is Russell Westbrook right now significantly better than John Wall, like in his prime?
Yes.
Significantly better?
Oh, John Wall in his prime. Like,
or even John Wall, like 2 years ago, John Wall, he was still good.
Yeah, I think he is, man. Because at least Russell Westbrook has been in high leverage games that mean shit. Like, as much as John Wall wants to jump up on the scores table.
And he choked him, though. He choked him.
I'm choking up with truth. He can't wait to get out.
You're choking because he said Russell. I can't even say his name. Russell Westbrook.
Like a Brussels sprouts tonight?
Yeah, right. Russell Westbrook.
I'm saying that, like, the biggest moments he ever played in are not big moments. John Wall. He thought those were big moments, but the players like Russell Westbrook, those are not big moments. That's not actual pressure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you're at least at bare minimum, if like in the regular season, prime John Wall was the same as Russell Westbrook now, at least Russell Westbrook now has better playoff acumen and experience than John Wall.
Here's my thing to combat that, though, right? So Westbrook, he's definitely played into like some really high, meaning games, like finals games, conference finals and all that. But he most of the time has underperformed.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't performed up to the level that he usually plays at. So, like, in my eyes, even if he is better than John Wall, the Wizards still aren't going to do anything. Am I excited to see two, like, really good players kind of swap teams? Yeah. But do I really see either one of these teams being really good? No. If I'm being honest, no. If you put a gun to my head, no. If you gave me $1 million and said, if these teams are going to make the playoffs, you're going to do it. I'm like, no, it's not happening.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, it's not happening.
No. It's going to be a fun league pass team.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's about it. Now let's talk about the Rockets, who will also be a fun league pass team, and that's about it. And they might not even be – they might be a fun league pass team for different reasons. And the reason is this. John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins are back together.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yes, sir.
The most talented Kentucky team that never won anything is back together.
Yeah, I think they got at like Elite Eight.
Yeah, look out, NBA. We couldn't get it done in college, but we're coming for the Lakers.
Yeah, that's not happening, man. So, what are you interested in watching Houston?
I am to see like the 8-car pileup on the highway. Like that's in the same way that I want to see LaMelo Ball, I want to watch the Houston Rockets. Like it's because it's going to be a trash can fire. As soon as this shit goes south, PJ Tucker is going to be like, "Get me out of here. I didn't come from playing in Turkey to deal with this bullshit. Put me on a contended team. Put me on Portland or something." You're going to have to blow the whole team up. It's going to be DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, and a bunch of scrubs who they hate. It's going to be those two guys who think they're the coolest kids on school because they're the leading rusher and receiver on a team that wins 2 games a season.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Here's the thing about old Johnny Wall. I think the opposite of what you're thinking. I think Houston's going to be a sleeper team this year. I think John Wall and DeMarcus combined, even though they've both been hurt, but you adding 2 dudes that used to be really good on the one team. And if James Harden stays, that's the question. That's the question. So we don't know what the fuck he's going to do. Like he said, he's not going to any training camp. He's not going to like preseason shit right now.
He's not going. My question for you is this, Terry, and it's very simple. Are we sure that Doc Rivers is coaching in Philadelphia right now, or is he actually the GM of the Rockets?
Oh, shit.
Because you know how he loves to pick up dudes that were really good against his team like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think he must have been watching a lot of 2016 tape. It was like, yo, explosive, talented, hard-nosed. Yeah. These guys have all.
I have no idea, man. And we don't even know who the coach is. But at the same time, like, I mean, we know
the coach is. It's Steven Silas.
No, I'm saying we know the coach, but I'm saying we don't know, like, his strategy. We don't know what he's going to do. Like, is he a good coach? Is he a bad coach?
I tell you what he's going to do is, like, spend a lot of sleepless nights, gain somewhere from 15 to 22 pounds off just, like, MSG that's in Chinese takeout. Because he's been grinding, like, 30 years to get this opportunity. Yeah. And when he got the job, it was Russell and Harden together on the team. Yeah. And then come training camp, both of them were like, nah, this is what we're not going to do is play for a first-year head coach with a bunch of Jeff Greens on the team.
Yeah.
So now he's like, dude, I worked my whole life for this opportunity. Last thing he's going to do is give up and just be like, oh, Harden's not coming today. Like, guess we're going to take this L. This motherfucker's going to work till he's dribbling his eyeballs on the computer keys. Like Steph Curry with tennis balls. Like,
he's dribbling and dribbling. Motherfucker looks stupid. But hey, look, I don't know, bro. I feel like everybody's sleeping.
Think about the teams that are above them, Terry. Think about all the teams that are above them in the West.
Don't say Clay.
Who's worse than them? The Kings?
Who's worse than the Rockets?
The Kings are worse than the Rockets.
The Grizzlies.
The Timberwolves might be worse than the Rockets.
Grizzlies.
If without James Harden?
Oh, without James Harden?
If it's just John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and the Kentuckyettes.
It's a 10 seed. But if you lose James, you're going to get something back. So it just depends.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. If you lose James, you're going to get something back because there are a couple different proposals I wanted to run your way. If you were the GM of the Rockets, what would you think about these 3 proposals coming across your desk? And I'll start with the one that's been the most reported. Going to the Nets. And the package coming back has been some combination of Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, multiple picks and pick swaps.
So let me answer everything individually. We'll see how that goes. So Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
You give me those three players, right?
Yeah.
Jared Allen, I like you. You're good. You block shots. Give me some good energy. You only cost about $3.8, $3.9 million, right? That's cool. I don't want none of the fucking Brooklyn Nets picks. First of all, because none of those picks are going to do shit for me. Because Brooklyn's going to be a 2 or 3 seed in the East.
What if you make them like 20-30?
Hell no. I don't want no picks. No picks. What the hell am I going to do with picks? They're fucking bust. Like I said before, 15%. Those are only dudes that are good in the draft. Everybody else is garbage. Some of them don't even play in the league. Third. Karis LeVert. I don't want Karis LeVert. He's 26. Everybody didn't know that. They thought he was like 22 or some shit. He's 26 years old. I don't want him. Not that good. He gave me, 20 in the bubble? We saw him lead the team. Spencer Dinwiddie, though. I would like to take Spencer, but you got to give me Spencer and maybe Joe Harris. And then I got to take Kyrie.
The money won't work, first of all. So the question is this. It's either Kyrie for Harden straight up with picks, or it's the Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, and pick. It's either Kyrie and pretty much nothing, a couple pick swaps or something like that, or the young players and future assets. Which one would you rather have?
If I'm Houston, I would rather do Kyrie, but he's also a dumpster fire.
All right, I just want to stop you right there. And I want to remind you that then you'd have John Wall, one of the most volatile personalities in the entire league, on the league's worst contract on your team, with Kyrie Irving, another one of the league's most volatile personalities, on another onerous contract, and they play the same position. Are you sure you want to advance?
What am I supposed to do? Like, you're trying to give me 3 quarters. I have $5. I have James Harden. He's $5. You're trying to give me 3 quarters. Then you're trying to add 3 more dimes and say that that's $5. I'm not taking that shit. It never, in the history of the whole NBA, it's never worked out where a superstar got traded and then you gave a collective of like okay guys, and the okay guy team actually got good.
Hey, tell that first of all to Oklahoma City, and then second of all, now
CP3 was all NBA.
Huh?
CP3 is all NBA player.
Yeah, dude. The picks that they got from the Harden thing, like one of them turned out to be Steven Adams. Everyone else turned out to be terrible. So they're basically what they got from their Harden trade was Steven Adams and Kevin Martin.
So you're saying the Kevin Martin, James Harden
trade. Right. They pulled a bunch of other trades that like a labeled. Now they have this fucking stockpile of first round picks for the next like decade. Them and the Pelicans.
Here's the thing about that situation though. You had Kevin Durant and you had Russell Westbrook. They don't have that still on your team. You know what I'm saying? When you make that trade.
I mean, as far as you got the next best thing in Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
I get what you're saying.
I mean, that's about as close as you could get. And the thing is, though, with these players, you can't end up with just like you're saying, the 4 quarters for $1.
Yeah.
For that James Harden trade, all they got was Steven Adams and Kevin Martin, which anyone can say is not anywhere close. But then all the way that all those future assets and second round picks and like pick swaps and shit, they put in the future trades, and then that's what actually brought back legitimately good players. That's how they were able to like now have the treasure trove that they have with Jay Gilgeous-Alexander and all these other players. Where now like the next superstar in 2 years that's distressed and wants to get up out of Dodge, OKC is going to be in a fantastic position to have all these assets to go get him now without making the team shitty.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather be like the Lakers? Go get LeBron, win me 1 chip in about 10 years or whatever?
Yes.
Or would you rather be OKC?
No.
Exactly. So I don't even have to finish it. Nobody wants to be OKC and be like, I got all these assets and I can do all these things. And our team is going to be a playoff team for the next 10 years. But if you're not giving me a chip, what's the point?
Exactly. This is what Brian Windhorst always said. He always said, winning the championship means not having to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
And so, like, whatever moves hamstrung you for the future seasons, whatever cap flexibility you fucked up, we won the fucking championship. It doesn't matter. I'm a Hawks fan. I may live my entire life and never see the Atlanta Hawks win one. So whatever you got to do to get one, you got to do it.
Yeah. So now, like, no, go ahead.
If you're a contending team, if you're a team that has a realistic chance of winning the championship and you have a superstar in your prime, you got to go all out regardless of the future financial ramifications because you may not have this window again for 30 years.
Yeah.
So you can't be like OKC and try to pinch pennies and be like, we don't want to be in the luxury tax and pay Ibaka and Harden. That was a swing point in NBA history just because they didn't want to spend money. If you're that close, you got to go all in. And that's why I respect Daryl Morey with the Chris Paul thing with Houston. I mean, they came within 24 consecutive missed threes of being an NBA champion.
Definitely. But now at the same time, here's the thing. I think this is what like OKC and these teams, these small market teams, I can understand why you want to kind of stay a 4 seed through an 8 seed and kind of just stay in the middle of the road because you know you have a little like people are going to come to games and they're exciting or whatever because OKC's new. I understand that, but at the same time, you got to go for it. You can't be penny pinching. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Well, I tell you what, this is one thing you may not know. The teams that spend under the cap in the NBA get like a check for the amount of money that they get back like at the end of the year from the teams that are taxpayers.
Yeah.
So like the teams that are in the luxury tax literally are given bonus checks to teams that are intentionally staying underneath the fucking, they're just at the floor.
Yeah.
And so this is how shitty owners like Robert Sarver in Phoenix, like who are not in a big market, even though they have good assets and good players, aren't competitive for a while because the business is making money, even though the team sucks.
Hey, let me tell you something right now. They need to cut that shit out. We need to find everything in like any rules that we can make to get your team to be good. If you can't have just a straight shit team all the time and get money for it, just because you go under like the salary cap or whatever or luxury tax.
I think where it starts is they need to have like more checks and balances for getting like owners up out of here. Like you can't just buy a team and then like own it till you die and do whatever the fuck you want and make the league look bad.
We need to make a rule
because of that racist shit in the tape that came out that they were able to get rid of the dude from the Clippers,
Donald Sterling.
Yeah, but they had been wanting to get him out of the league for 15 years. They just like didn't have the ammo to do it. But like they should set up a system in a way where they don't have to have like a fucking national scandal just to get a new owner in town. It's like if you 7 years, if you haven't met these financial goals or whatever, 10 years, you haven't invested X, your team hasn't done X, and you haven't shown a propensity for even trying to be competitive, then like, all right, we're going to replace, because this is bad for the NBA's brand now.
Yeah.
They have a team like the Timberwolves who don't make the playoffs in 14 years.
Yeah. I mean,
it does look bad.
Yeah. It's fucking sad. Bro, all those teams, you got to go. Like, you got to kick these owners out of here. You can't, there should be zero incentives. If you want to save money in a business where wins make you money, you need to get the hell up out of here. James Dolan has been with the Knicks for too fucking long. He's not like he tries to win all the time. And I understand teams that like try to do stuff, but if you're constantly at the bottom, there has to be checks and balances. There's got to be something. Like in England, like we were saying, we watch soccer a lot. We talk about this all the time. If your team is complete shit, you're going to get relegated into a shittier league and make less money. So there's an incentive for you to be good because you're going to make money. Good. Like once you make it to the top, you stay at the top because you make money.
Yeah, I mean, there's consequences to that shit. I think with like the advent of more sophisticated travel, we'll be at a point where we can do that. Now in America, I don't think we're at a point where like if they sped travel up and like we could make this a real world league that like fucking Cleveland gets knocked out and then Real Madrid comes right in. You know what I mean? Like that would be
That'd be
sick,
wild.
but we're a ways away from that. One thing
I don't know.
the
I feel
Atlanta Hawks have been a ways away from doing is competing for some time. And changing for James Harden could change all of that, Terry. So I have a proposed trade for you, unnamed Rockets GM. They're worried 2.1.
Trade number 2.
Trade number 2. Sign and trade John Collins, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish picks for James Harden.
No.
You getting a better offer anywhere else? You getting a fucking future 10-year All-Star who can shoot threes?
We still on the phone? Are we still on the phone? I think, Philly's been making a little bit of noise. I heard I might be able to get Ben Simmons or Joel. I don't. John Collins, can you do anything better?
So you'd rather have Ben Simmons straight up than John Collins, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, and 2 first-round picks?
What about 4 first-round picks?
2. This isn't fucking Danny Ainge calling up Michael Jordan. I'm sorry.
Giving you.
Hey, Frank Kaminsky's off the table.
Sir, I am giving you. This guy scores 35 points a game, and he's been doing it consistently for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
He's the MVP of this league, and you're going to give me that? I can't get 4 first-round picks? I need the next James Harden.
Nah, he's a distressed asset. The only thing he's going to do is make your team worse until you trade him. So this is the best offer you're going to get anywhere. And listen, this is a sidekick, so I got to fucking open it up so I can really get active on this bitch.
You don't disrespect my all-star like that?
This is what happened. Think about in every trade, though, and this is the other thing I wanted to get to eventually. But when you have players that sign max deals or super max deals for 5 years, and then 2 years into their contract, they say, not only am I putting in a trade request, but I'll only go to this 1 or 2 teams.
Yeah.
Now it's shrunk the market now for you down to these 2 people. So now it depresses the value that you as the Rockets are going to be able to get, because ultimately now your bidders are the Sixers and the Nets. And so all they have to do is compete with each other, and they don't have to worry about the Hawks, and they don't have to worry about the Pelicans and the Thunder and everyone else who could potentially be making the move. If that wasn't the case, if Harden wasn't allowed to be like, I want out of here with 3 years left on my deal, only going to go to these 2 teams, then you probably would get 4 first-round picks. But because of how he set it up, it would take a miracle.
Probably. I mean, but that's the thing about the Supermax. And what I really hate about the Supermax is, like, they end up – yo. So, good? Good?
Oh, I'm dying, homie.
Corona! You got it?
You get Corona through Zoom?
No, motherfucker.
All right, Zoom then, baby. Go ahead.
Nah, you can't. But, hey, look. I was about to say, the thing I hate about the Supermax is, like, these dudes get this fucking Supermax contract when they're, like, 29 or, like, 30. And then by year, like, they'll be, like, 33, 34, 35, still making $40 million. And you're just sitting there like, yo, do I really want to do this? And the funny thing about it is there's only, like, 5 guys that are, like, great enough to, like, really win you a championship. Like, in the NBA, there's, like, only, like, 5 dudes that that are, like, that good that can win you a chip. And you're like, fuck it. I'll risk it all. I'll risk all my money when I know CP3 is going to make $50 fucking million when he's, like, 36. You know what I'm saying? It kind of hems you up.
You're describing exactly what happens. And this is what happened 20 years ago, and the league didn't learn from it when they put in max contracts in the first place. And then suddenly you had, like, just the best player from every shitty team was like, oh, I'm a max player. And suddenly big country is getting fucking max money. Yep. Like, this should really happen in real life. And then it happened again. Nick Batum. You know what I mean? He signed a max deal. Chandler Parsons. He signed a max deal. Gordon Hayward has signed 3 max deals. Like, Nobody looks at these players and thinks you can take me to the promised land. And you do, you're Stevie Wonder.
Oh man, you're definitely Stevie Wonder. But
The thing now though is as a small market team, you're not going to be able to draw free agents to you naturally unless you overpay for them. So
that's true.
Retaining your young talent and your promising players is the most important thing to do because at least even if you're overpaying for them, you still have control of the asset for 7 years for their rookie season.
I mean, I totally get why they did.
It's a scalable contract, and you control it, and it can be flipped at some time.
Yeah.
What that means now is that like all these dudes who are not worth like you're describing, people like John Collins who are fringe all-stars are asking for the max.
Yep.
But the max was only, like you said, intended to be for the very best players in the league.
Yeah.
So now if I'm apportioning 30% of my salary cap to a dude who at his peak can only contribute 18% of the overall worth of the roster, there's no deficit there that's going to hamstring you until you find a way to move off that contract or supplement it with precocious rookies who are very cheap but come in the league and can play like a role immediately.
True that. Precocious rookies. I like it. But here's the thing. Let's expand on something a little different. So James Harden, this is what I don't get sometimes. How can somebody like James Harden, how can you force your way out of a team? If we already said it, right? There's a handful of like really good players in the league where you think you can win. Why in the fuck, if I was Houston, why would I give up James Harden? Like, why would I trade him? I'm like, James, stop it. Shut the fuck up. You're going to stay in Houston. You're contractually obligated to stay with us. You can keep not coming to the game. And you can also keep not getting paid. So what the fuck do you want to do? You're hemmed up. How do these NBA players continually, it's a track of like star players just forcing their way out of teams. And teams don't even fight back. They're just like, fuck it, we'll just trade. What do you think on that?
I mean, it started with setting a precedent. And that precedent was set with Anthony Davis, who said 2 years. Well, the first precedent, was set with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
He said 2 years into his deal with Cleveland, 2 years remaining on max deal. I'm out of here. And that was the first time, like usually 1 year left. You do that to give a team like, hey, it's almost a courtesy. I'm going to be leaving for free in a year. You might as well get something for me.
Yeah.
Now Kyrie pushes back 2 years left.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave in 2 years. Might as well get something for me. Then he goes to Boston. Then Anthony Davis goes with 3 years left in his contract. And he goes, I want to get out of here. And he goes, he ups it another level. Not only do I want to get out of here with 3 years left in my deal, but I'm only going to the Lakers.
Yeah. And they could
only team I'll go to.
And him, it's weird because he started sitting out the games. He was like, fuck it, I'm hurt.
Yep.
You know?
So he put their feet to the fire, and he used his agency as a player to like use all the levers that he has and be like, you can just sit here and watch us play like shit and watch me mope around for 3 more years, or you can do this one deal with this one team that I sanction. And it's a miracle that David Griffin got all the assets that he did with Anthony Davis narrowing it down to one team. There's a
that might be one of the ones where the other team, the Lakers won the chip.
Right. So you don't have to apologize. But this is one of the things where maybe both teams won, actually.
Yeah. It rarely happens, but like they both definitely won. But I got to give it to James Harden. He's using this pandemic to his advantage. He's like, fuck it. I'm going to just keep getting coronavirus. Fuck you guys. When I come back, I'm going to try to kill your grandma. Your grandpa going to die too. Your daddy got chest problems? Oh, he's done. I'm going to fucking Atlanta strip clubs, Houston strip clubs, little baby's birthday party. He don't give a fuck. No mask. Taking big smiling like, bitch, I alive.
Bro, you remember how back in the day the conquistadors used to give out smallpox blankets to the Indian people and shit? James Harden will roll up in fucking training facility with COVID headbands and sweatbands and shit. Free swag, they got COVID laced up in it. They're like, yeah, give it a good sniff. Yeah. It's a scratch and sniff, actually. You should keep doing it.
Oh my god. It's kind of funny. I was thinking as soon as we were talking about it, I was like, what if Magic Johnson did that to leverage his way to own, like get part ownership with AIDS?
What if Magic Johnson just like grew his fingernails out, and when he was driving to the cup in games, was like,
He just said, "Fuck you guys."
right, flagrant. I'll show you a flagrant. Whoop.
Their AIDS out on the platter. Hell no, man.
The lane is gonna be wide open.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man.
All right, let me get your thoughts on Simmons. What if I'm Daryl Morey, and let's pretend I'm really Daryl Morey, and you're Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, who just like let me go and chase me out of the building, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take some time to work on my like life and spend time with my kids, and then 6 days later, I'm like, I'm gonna run the fucking 76ers. So I call you, and I'm like, hey man, it's been a while. Hope there are no hard feelings. I know James has been at Lil Baby's birthday party and spreading COVID to everyone like he's Rudy Gobert. How would you feel about Ben Simmons for Harden? Straight up. No picks, not budging. That's the offer.
All right. So first I'm answering the phone. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going, Daryl? First of all, I'm like, James Harden straight up for Ben Simmons, huh? I kind of like it, but I think, you're not forcing my hand. I need something else. You're the one that's desperate. I'm not desperate.
Nah, that's the offer. And you got the roles reversed. We're not desperate. We just added a whole bunch of shooting to our team and remade the whole team around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. We just brought in like 4 shooters. So we'd be very comfortable just rolling this out and seeing how good we are. Okay. Who has a distressed player that's like, I need to get up out of there. And at the end of the day, who's the best player you really want getting back in the deal? Karis LeVert? Because that's the direction you're headed.
Possibly. So then I say this. So you're rolling with Doc, huh? Doc, the same dude that had Kawhi and Paul George, huh? So you're rolling with Doc? Wait, one more second. So you're rolling with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, huh? How far did y'all get? Second round? So Doc, as far as he went, second round, last couple of years. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, as far as they went, is the second round.
Hey, let me tell you a secret. Tillman Fertitta. You can't blow a 3-1 lead if you're coming from behind the whole series.
Yeah, but anyway, so if we were really, really thinking about this shit, that would probably be the best case scenario for you. Because otherwise, you're fucking screwed. I don't think there's any other trade that, and no other teams that like stars want to trade for him. That'll be your best case scenario.
Let's be real crazy. Let's get all the way crazy.
Go ahead.
What if the Hawks say Trae Young straight up?
Trae Young, I already got John Wall.
Oh, wait a minute. The money doesn't even work. That doesn't even make sense. We can't do
that. Oh, 5 first-round picks? No, I'm just playing. Like the Atlanta one, I fucking hated it. There's no fucking way it's happening.
You don't like the blow up. You like retooling, not rebuilding.
Yeah, your team is done. Like, I have to take all your picks until 2029.
So you do it for Simmons?
If Harden really, really, really wanted to get the fuck out of there, yeah, I'd have to.
I think those are the two. Like realistically, those options that with the Nets and with the Sixers, those are the only 2 trades.
Yeah,
and I don't see the market getting better on those trades as the season goes on.
Yeah, doesn't Embiid's money match up? Or did he know the 2?
No, because he was signed to a less than max because of his injury provisions.
Really? Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I would take Ben Simmons, but at the same time, like, James Harden, he doesn't get hurt much. And by trade for Ben, he's very injury prone. So it's like, do I really want to do this? And then I got John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. Those are my 3 best players. And you only played what? Like a combined fucking 90 games maybe throughout the past couple of years.
Tell me that wouldn't be like an enthralling trio to watch, though. Ben Simmons, John Wall, and DeMarcus Cousins. Like, just all of them think they're the best player on the team. All of them think they're like potential Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
This is going to be, if that had, it would be the greatest NBA powder keg since Kyrie on the Celtics.
Hey, I don't know, man. But the Ben Simmons scenario, that's probably the only one.
And we're not even mentioning the Nets, who have 17 different head coaches.
Yeah.
And like have this weird cliquey locker room, me, DeAndre Jordan, and Kyrie, and then everyone else type of dynamic. And Steve Nash has never coached before. And like, you know what I mean? So as far as drama goes, they gotta be the number 1 seed. But you bring Ben Simmons and you know what I'm saying, in there with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, I don't know. That's a contender.
I don't know. If James Harden finds his way onto the Nets, though, I'm done with the Houston dude. This Houston guy is fucking dumb.
All right, let's real quick imagine a possibility where the NBA steps in and is like, this has gone too far. You remember how like the NBA fucking blocked Chris Paul's trade to the Lakers?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not gonna let this happen. I know the NBA doesn't own the Nets the same way that they were like owners of the Pelicans or whatever during that period. But they stepped in and were like, this is not going down. Things have gone too far. They sent out a 100-page code of conduct dealing with coronavirus and all this other stuff. It's like, you can only leave your house for essential items. And James Harden's in every single strip club on 2 coasts, going to multiple celebrity birthday parties. If I were the NBA, I'd be like, breach of contract. This shit is null and void. You're not going anywhere. You're now a restricted free agent under the NBA's control.
You know what? They might be able to do that shit. Just because it's a special circumstance. They might be able to do that shit.
It's a clear breach of contract. It's a clear breach of contract. The only thing is, how dirty do the Rockets want to get their hands? Because if they do that, it'll go all the way. Like, they'll have a fight with the Players Association. It'll be a whole thing. Other star players in the league will see how they treated James Harden and all this other stuff. But if I were them, I might consider standing on principle.
I mean, I'm just not trying to give up 35 points a game for nothing. Like, you can't just – this is what I can never own a team or be a GM. Like, you're just not going to afford – like, you're not leaving, James Harden, you're not leaving the team. Like, I don't know what the hell you –
3 more years. We'll see you tomorrow. Like,
yeah, like, what are you talking about? I'm going to renew your contract. Shut the fuck up. You're done. Like, I can't just give you up for nothing, bro. Like, that's not possible. There's no good trades. Ben Simmons is the only one. Like, that's the only one that's interesting. But besides that, like, what are we talking about?
Well, you know what? Harden isn't the only star that wants out, man. This week, Pogba demanded a trade for Manchester United through his agent, Mino Raiola. Now, Pogba didn't even start the Champions League game against Leipzig, and they crashed out.
He's been starting a lot of games, which is weird.
Well, this is the thing about Pogba. He can only play 1 or 2 positions. He's not a dude you can move all around the formation and play multiple roles. He has a very specific game and needs specific circumstances and players surrounding him to allow him to flourish. The things that he's good at are playing long balls. His passing is exceptional.
Yeah.
Right? Another thing that he's tremendous at is his runs from deep, from like midfield, and he starts breaking the lines, doing the Yaya Toure surging past people. And he also has like a world-class first touch, technical ability, and is a great scoring threat for a midfield player in the air on one-time shots and shots outside the box.
Here's the thing about Pogba, man. Here's the thing. So He's an incredible player. He plays great for France. He played great for Juve. But for some reason, it's not even some reason. It's like when he went to Man U and like the team wasn't star-studded, you know what I'm saying? Like the guys were still good. Like you're still playing for Manchester United. Like they weren't great, but they're still good. It's like he just disappeared. He was doing way too much. He can't play if the guys around him aren't good. And that's a problem.
But more specifically, even if they are good, they have to be good at specific things. So Pogba is horrible with his positioning. His positional understanding is some of the worst I've ever seen. And the gaps that he leaves in midfield to allow incisive passes are really just horrendous. Oftentimes you'll see him in a double pivot where both players are supposed to move in a mirror, shifting together. And there are times where you'd see Matic running this way and Pogba is running this way. Multiple times. I was doing this video breakdown for our website. I couldn't believe all the instances where he's just lost. And he goes to double team somebody for some reason, leave someone wide open on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
And the more defensive stuff that he starts trying to do, the more he gets fatigued and out of what he wants to do on offense.
Yeah.
The more he gets stuck in defensively, the more stupid shit he starts doing offensively. And recovering the ball and start playing outside the foot 70-yard long balls, trying to roll the ball back and meg people right on the edge of his own box.
Yeah. It's so weird, man. It's so weird because, he's bad with structure. He can't play when the shit is structured. He, like you were saying, he's a one-position guy. But at the same time, he's a free roam dude. He's a free roamer. He can't stick to one spot. He plays
Iniesta's position.
Sort of kind of.
He plays the left side midfielder of a 4-3-3, or he can play in the hole as a number 10 behind the strikers. The problem is Bruno Fernandes plays that position better than him for Manchester United. So he's going to play there.
Yeah.
The other problem with him is he doesn't understand his position on defense goes over to offense. So he's so poor in build-up play because he doesn't create the runs checking back to the defense to allow the short passes, redistribute to the right back, get it back in the midfield, then advance the ball vertically. He doesn't understand coming short and will often just put himself in a position where now you have to make a risky pass to even get him involved in the play. Yeah. It was for this reason that I was reading this year, Manchester United, 45% of their attacks go down the left flank compared to only 30% down the right. And Wan-Bissaka is a much more attacking right back than Luke Shaw or Alex Telles as he's been there, or the other white dude who's right-footed but plays left back for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's him. If he's not in one of those two positions, now he disrupts your whole ball progression from defense into midfield, circulating that in. And then now the entire right side of your field is completely dead.
Yeah.
And anytime you try to get something up through there, Mason Greenwood is not an actual right winger. So he always cuts inside. Pogba always likes to cut inside and be in that space. Bruno Fernandes always likes to be in that space. And so now you have three people clustered in one area with Wan-Bissaka overlapping. As soon as Pogba loses the ball in that area, being too cute, now you have a fucking 5-on-3 going the other way.
Yep. I don't know, man.
There are things that he does that you just can't do, and there are things that he does that are spectacular, world-class. Only 5 players in the world can do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, bro. It frustrates the shit out of you. And it's so crazy with not a lot, but there's a certain number of soccer players, right? You can see them do something great, completely great. Some shit you've never seen before. Then, next game, plays complete shit. And it makes no sense. And now, as far as, this season is concerned for him, you can always, try to make an excuse for Pogba. But for this season, he's checked out. He definitely checked out. He still does great shit, but he's definitely checked out. He's doing way.
He's all the
The
way.
thing he's doing this year, he has never like done before. He's really trying to do the dumb shit.
So let's talk about he's leaving. That much is apparent.
Yeah.
Pogba's out of there. He's another one of these dudes. His contract is up in a year.
Yeah.
A year and a half. He's like, all right, it's been fun. Enjoy losing me for free, or I'm gonna get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
So when think about Pogba, there are 4 teams that jump to mind because you have to be of a certain financial caliber at least to even buy him. You know what I mean? Like Werder Bremen is not in the running, and neither is Lazio and other good fits because they just don't have the fucking cash. So the 4 teams that I came up with are Juve, Barca, PSG, and Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I excluded Bayern Munich from this list is because they have Thomas Müller, who plays the exact same position in him, and would be the same problem again. And he's, as much as Müller means to Bayern Munich, he's not displacing him in that position.
He's German in a team that's German. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Not
happening. So let's start with Juve. You put him in the same system that he flourished before, fucking 3-4-3, 4-3-3, left-sided center midfielder, defensive-oriented players who are already the core of the team is familiar with him, and the coach was the guy who was occupying the lower pivot next to him while he was playing his best season.
He played it right there. See, I can see it, but I can't see it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to see him go back to Juventus and like try to get that spark back. Yeah, but at the same time, I want these guys to like embrace the challenge of like going somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't revert back to something just because it's comfortable.
I'm with you. All right,
and
so
he sort of did it by going back to Man U to try it, but he just hasn't had the right like the right coach, the right players around him and shit. It's just been a bunch of, I don't even know, like.
I think the pace of the Italian game suits him much more as well because he's a person who always tries to do spectacular things under pressure, and frequently they don't come off.
No.
In the Italian league, they don't press as high up the pitch. Most teams do. You have more time on the ball, more respect, and you have to like kind of break them down tactically and mentally. Whereas England, there's Stuart Holden and Gus McGraw right up in the fucking shorts.
They're always
can't play soccer, but they run around a lot, and they're
always on. And then here's the thing: he can go to Juve, and he knows like you're gonna play. Like Pirlo's like, yeah, he's class. Like Pogba's gonna play, and he's gonna have high confidence, and he'll be great. He'll be great, but
he will be. But it'll be the same.
Yeah. The other one, Barcelona. That's your squad. What do you think about him going to Barcelona?
I think it could be a tremendous fit, but you'd have to buy another player alongside him to make him work. So I think him and Frankie de Jong, we go back to the 4-3-3. You got Frankie de Jong as the defensive midfielder. You have Pogba on the left. That means you now need the exact type of dude that we just gave away in Arturo Vidal to be your right midfielder. Yeah. You need a ball-winning defensive midfielder who's tactically astute, but and doesn't overburden the team going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need a scrappy Mascherano, Yaya Toure, Seydou Keita, Zakaria would be a great signing. There's tons of these guys, but you need somebody who fits that profile. If you just get Pogba and expect him to run him out there next to Sergio Roberto and Pjanic and Busquets and all these other guys, it's not going to work. It's going to be the same problems.
All right.
So if you buy Pogba, you got to get the other guy too, and that can work.
So this is why I don't think the Barcelona thing isn't going to work. This is why I think it's not going to work. Unless you break the financial play or fair play rules for getting other players, him going to Barca, the amount of money that they're going to spend to pay for him to go to Barca, you won't be able to get anyone else, and your team's going to be complete.
Because remember, Messi's leaving.
So that'll match up, but it's 1-for-1.
We'll have tons of fucking money to spend because he's taking his $500 grand a week wage bill with him and his $450 million release clause. Well, tons of fucking.
He's gonna break his clause,
bro.
He's gone.
He's gone, but that's coming off our books.
Okay.
that money. You know what I'm saying? So we have a gap to fill with whoever.
Yeah, and Pogba was only 100 million.
Yeah.
Well, shit. There you go. But you got to buy a lot of players still at the same time.
Yeah, and so that's why I ultimately don't think that he'll go to Barcelona. Now the next one was Madrid.
I don't like that either.
Pogba's talked about multiple occasions how it would be a dream to play for Real Madrid, and actually, tactically, he fits their team very well. He'd have Casemiro
Yeah.
protect him and be behind him. He'd have Tony Cruz to do the build-up work and all the ball progression, and then he could be in that slot exactly where he wanted to be, dynamically linking the midfields to the forwards.
Yeah.
The problem with Real Madrid's perspective is we already have a guy who's really good at doing that, and his name is Federico Valverde, and he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he's already good at all the same things you're good at.
Yeah, he's a beast. So here's the thing. Do you want that French connection, though, with him and Benzema? Do you think that'll work out?
No.
You don't like it at all?
I think Benzema's – I wonder how many seasons at a top level he has left.
Yeah, you could ask that. Also, one thing before we kind of keep going on Madrid, do you think that Pogba would bring back Griezmann's form because they're cool?
No.
You think Griezmann would still just be trash?
Yeah. I think he's just like – because the thing is, again, he'd try to play a similar position to Pogba. He likes to play in the hole behind the striker. At this point, I think the Griezmann Barcelona shit is so shot. Like, everyone just knows he sucks, and he knows he sucks. And he has to go to a new team now. It's unsalvageable. Is what I think.
So Madrid, like we said.
Did you see the goal that he missed against yesterday against Juve?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. It's comical how bad he's playing. But,
it's become routine. It's become routine.
He's trash. It's all good.
So back to Madrid.
I think, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Here's the thing. Here's the problem with Barcelona and Real Madrid. They would, the change in all of the players, you'd have to get so many different types of dudes because your teams are just underperforming this year, both of them. It would be just a massive change of players. And new players in soccer don't always work like that. Not easily. It doesn't happen quick. It's always an influx of different people coming in. And it's can we get chemistry right? No, yes. The midfield three, I like Cruz, Casemiro, and Pogba, yeah. But then what are you going to give me around? Are you going to stunt the growth of Valverde? He's really been playing well.
No, if you get Pogba, you got to get rid of Valverde. They both can't play in the team together. Again, they play the same position. But at least for Pogba, if you're looking just at fit, you got all the pieces he needs around him. You have the pacey left back in Ferland Mendy that'll give him the support on that side. You have the pacey winger in Vinicius that'll get back in support on his side. Then you have the ball progression dude in Kroos, and you have the defensive guy in Casemiro. And now Pogba's fuck, all I got to do is worry about making plays.
Yeah, possibly. It can work, though. The wingers are really fast. They have fast wingers. I'm just worried, Benzema is getting old. So, maybe in the first season he'll still be really good. But then after that, try to get another forward.
Yeah. Well, they still got Luka Jovic and Rainier or whatever his name is.
And they're decent.
But let's get to the last team, which I think we both know is the real fit. And this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you heard it here first. Jalen Kobe style, broken news.
Yeah. This is what we need.
He's going to PSG.
We need Pogba to go to Paris Saint-Germain. He needs to go back to France, bro. He'll be so comfortable in France. Way more comfortable than anywhere he's ever been. I'm telling you. He only plays
First of all, the French league sucks. All right?
Yeah.
So let's say that first and foremost, he'll have plenty of time to do all him and Neymar might just have a fucking circle jerk with two people around the soccer ball during half of these French games. With all the stupid, pointless tricks that they like to do during a game.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pieces around him, again, accomplished pacey left back in the midfield. Ander Herrera and Gueye. Herrera, a ball progression guy. Gouet, a defensive Lasana Diarra, nipping at your heels type.
Yep.
Forward. Extremely skilled Neymar, Mbappe. Mbappe, the Pogba to Mbappe long balls. Just that.
We've seen it with France.
Yeah.
They won a World Cup together.
Yeah. So all the pieces there just look like a perfect fit.
Yeah, dude.
And I'd be surprised if he doesn't go to PSG.
That would be the most exciting thing for soccer in a minute. Probably since Neymar when he moved. I don't know. Like I really like that. He would flourish there, honestly. It's a perfect fit.
He's got to go there. But the thing that you got to worry about is, again, the locker room stuff. Now, again, you got three guys who all think they're the best player. Fucking John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and Ben Simmons. So that's what they'll have there.
The only difference is these guys, like, they have done great things, you know, individually and as, like, collectives, as teams. Even though, like, Neymar's not French, but, like, he's won a lot of shit with Mbappe. And Mbappe is going to embrace Pogba. So, in that way, those three would get along, I think.
I think they get along real great. I think they'd be like, you know, the fucking – at Barcelona, like, when things were good, Ronaldinho, Deco, and those motherfuckers were, like, cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I forget who else it was. It was Ronaldinho, Deco, and somebody else. But they, like, basically ran the team and were the cool guys.
Yeah.
Eto'o. It was Eto'o.
Yeah.
And that's why Guardiola wanted to get rid of Eto'o at first. But he, like, was like, please let me prove myself. And then he did.
Yeah. Nah, like, Neymar and Pogba are just fun-loving dudes, man. Like, and when you're there in the league, you're just going to win games. So it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. The question is, as it always is, you know, when you played FC Nobody 38 games in a season, and then it's time to perform against the biggest competition, you can't be lackadaisical trying to sombrero people in your own half.
Yeah.
It's not.
At the same, here's the thing. It's rare if you have three guys like that are that good on the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
with complementing skill sets.
Yes.
Not just that they're all good dribblers and like technically excellent. Yeah. But like each one of them will make the other one better.
I think it would go well. I can't wait to see. And I would
they got to make it happen. PSG, you got a billionaire freaking owner.
Yep.
If you got to get rid of whoever to make the money work so you don't get financially like the sanctions, if you got to get rid of Di Maria and whoever else, fucking do it.
Yeah.
That core of just in their prime, Neymar, Pogba, and Mbappe, all forming a triangle positionally on the field.
Yeah.
With the infrastructure around them, that's scary. And that
wouldn't be
work really well.
FIFA would never be the same again.
Unfortunately, people don't buy players because of how they fit or with any thought to like their tactical place in the team. They're just like, oh, this guy's at 87 on FIFA. Let me get him.
I don't know. That's what it seems like. You never know what they're doing. Even Pep doesn't know what he's doing. With defenders,
buys fucking outside back worth 50 million euros every offseason.
You know how much money
another center midfielder.
You know how much money he spent on defenders, bro?
$1 billion.
Nah, not that much. But since he's been at City, he spent 222 million euros on defenders, bro.
And is that just outside backs, or does that include Jolion Lescott as well? Does that include Jolion Lescott?
He wasn't there when Pep got there. No, because you think about it, and we're going off the subject, but this could be like the last thing we talk about, unless you want to indulge on something else. He bought Ruben Diaz this year for like 65 million. He bought Ake for 40 million. That's just this year. Last year he bought Laporte for 60 million.
And Cancelo for another 40 million.
Yep. And then he bought Mangala or whatever his name is. Remember the French dude?
Yep.
Who got hurt all the time?
Remember before that, Kyle Walker.
Yep.
Zinchenko.
Angelino.
Mendy.
Angelino.
Kolarov.
Cancelo.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous, dude.
It just can't find the right one.
Otamendi.
Oh yeah, he bought him too. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. But anyways, it is what it is.
Bro, I gotta say, I think Pep is a great coach. But if you spend like $300 million on that many world-class players and you can't get it figured out, part of that is an indictment on coaching.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, it's also like if those guys don't fit the passing mold of a Pep, none of it.
This is what I'm sick of, though, is trying to like.
Yeah, not a single one of them. It makes no sense why he bought any of them. That shit makes no sense at all.
The only one who was half decent was Zinchenko, and he was a fucking midfielder when they bought him.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that I'm getting kind of sick of with Pep, is this trying to like find the purest version of football, and like that's all we're gonna play is like the perfect ideology. It's like, dude, instead of making these owners spend $1 billion to find the perfect players in the world for your immaculate system, why don't you do what every other coach in the whole fucking world does and take the players that are in your team and then design a system that masks their weaknesses and accentuates their strengths, instead of taking them and putting them into this perfect Christmas tree model of how soccer is supposed to be played. And they're like, oh, well, turns out he was just human.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Everybody, why can't people just be Greg Popovich?
Adjust, motherfucker.
So easy.
Hey, and with that, I think I'm gonna adjust my my cursor to click pause and go ahead and end this podcast, man.
Hey, man, it's been real. And like always, everybody, thanks for stepping across the line with us.
Yep. Oh, we got a couple quick church announcements to make.
What we got?
Got a Habitual Line Steppers on Twitter. Go check us out. We got our Instagram page at HLS Pod. We got our website. I got an article that just came out tonight or last night by the time this is put up about Paul Pogba. And we have clips coming. We have full-length podcasts. And coming soon in the next month, we'll be nearing our 25th episode. And so we'll be able to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So a lot of exciting stuff coming your way.
Hell yeah. That's so funny we didn't say anything about our website this time. We usually do.
Right.
It's all good. Hey, look, we're sorry for like all the different dates and when we put shit up. I think every Tuesday is when we're going to start popping things up.
Yep. Every Tuesday. So we'll have a pod every Tuesday. We'll have an article every Wednesday. And we'll have an Instagram shorter clip every Thursday. So that's something that we can always look forward to during the week.
That's what it is, man.
All right, brother. Go get to that lasagna, homie.
I know. Peace out, man.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.